Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this Google Tag Manager course, we're going to go A to Z and everything in between to getting you up and running with Google Tag Manager the right way as quickly as possible. If you're looking for solving a specific problem with Tag Manager, whether you're working on Facebook or Google Ads or Pinterest or something, go ahead and check out the timestamp table of contents in the description to skip to that part that's going to be most helpful to you. Let's go ahead and dive into my screen. I'm going to walk you through the entire process of getting up and running with Google Tag Manager the right way. And the first step to getting up and running with Google Tag Manager is making sure that we clean house of all of our tracking codes on our site, because Tag Manager is going to be replacing everything. So what we want to make sure we do is we're ready to remove all the tracking codes right after we install Google Tag Manager. Now, we don't need to remove the tracking codes now, but we do need to figure out where all of them are. So chances are you may or may not already have some tracking codes on your website. We want to know exactly where those are so that we can remove them immediately after we install and implement Google Tag Manager. And the reason we need to do this first and know where all these are ahead of time is because we only have one shot. And when I say one shot, that's because nothing is retroactive when it comes to your tracking. So the last thing we want is for your Facebook pixel to be firing twice, for conversions to be tracked multiple times because the code's in the wrong place, or it's being fired more than once because it's in one place with your previous install and then now it's here with Google Tag Manager. So we just want to make sure that our installation is nice and clean, because right now your tags are all over the place or installed individually on your site. And what we're doing is we're going to take all of these tags and we're going to put them inside of Google Tag Manager. So we go from tags everywhere to tags all in one place. And of course, we want to make sure that we're not going to be double tracking anything. So our first step is cleaning house, making sure we know where everything is so we can immediately remove it when we install Google Tag Manager. Now, the second step is to understand how Google Tag Manager is actually organized. And the best way to think of Google Tag Manager is as a giant file cabinet for all of your tracking codes. So there are three levels inside of Tag Manager. We have account, container, and tags. Your account level is going to be your company. Your containers are your individual domains, and we'll get to subdomains in a little bit here. And then tags are the actual platforms that you're tracking, Facebook, Google, Pinterest, Bing, if you're using Bing for some reason, and so on and so forth. So here's a little mock-up of what Tag Manager will look like. And at the top level, we have your account, right? So you can actually have multiple accounts for different companies or different projects that you have inside of your actual Tag Manager account that's connected directly to your Google account. And inside of your accounts, you're going to have containers, and each one of your container should be a domain. And this is where subdomains come in, because one of the things with subdomains is it's going to be up to you whether or not you have a subdomain have its own container or be part of the main domain's container. I'm going to leave that up to you. And if you're doing anything advanced in Google Analytics, typically just follow the way you've set it up in Analytics. If that doesn't make any sense, ignore it, you're okay. Also, what's really important to note is that it doesn't matter where the domain is hosted. So even if you're using a page builder along with WordPress, you still should have one container for your entire domain. So for example, if you're using a page builder like Builderall, ClickFunnels, Instapage, or Leadpages, you're going to have the same Tag Manager code on those page builders as you will on your main WordPress site if you're using the same domain. If you have a separate domain or you're doing a subdomain for your page builders, then you may want to decide to have container 1 for your WordPress site and container 2 for your page builder. But if you're using the same domain, I know this is confusing, but if you're using the same domain, even if they're in different places, use one container. Now, inside of your containers is going to be all of your tags. And something that can really trip you up is you want to make sure that there is only one tag in one container. So if you have a Facebook ads account, you have a Google ads account, that remarketing code or that Facebook pixel should only be in one container. Unless you're doing something advanced and super ninja with your marketing, we really want to make sure that we stay organized and keep one tag in one container. So here's just kind of an overview of everything we've just gone through. We have your account, which is your company. We're going to have your containers, and your containers represent your domains. And inside of those containers, we have all of our tags and triggers and all the fun stuff that we're going to be getting into as we go through this course. So now that we're prepared to clean house, we understand the organization. Now it's time to install the Tag Manager code. So first things first, we're going to need to open up a Tag Manager account if we don't already have one. So you'd head over to just Google search, Google Tag Manager, and you'll be taken to a page that looks something like this, and you'll go ahead and click sign in or start for free. And if you're setting up your account for the first time, go ahead and choose the Gmail address or the G Suite address for your business or company. This should be one that you actually own. So if you work for someone else, or if you have a company account of a company that you don't own, please don't use that one. Use one that you 100% own. For this, you can always be given access to other Google Tag Manager accounts in the future and share access, but you want to make sure that when you set up your account, you own the email address that you're using. So once you've set it up and you've allowed access to Tag Manager, you're going to go ahead and be taken to a page that looks like this, and we're going to create our account for our company. If you have multiple companies or you're going crazy with multiple projects, you can just repeat this process over and over again. We're just going to go through one sample company. So we're just going to give our account a name, and I'm in the US, so I'm going to leave it at US. It'll also give you the option to share data anonymously with Google and others. I generally don't click the box inside of Tag Manager. It's nice inside of Google Analytics because it gives you some comparative stuff, but there's no real advantage to doing it here. So once we've entered in our my awesome company name in the United States, we're going to go ahead and give our container a name. Now what's cool is you don't actually have to use the exact URL. So if you have a lot of URLs you're going to be putting in here, you can use any naming convention you want to keep track of them. Here we're just going to do supercoolcompany.com, and we're going to click use container as web. The other things are for apps, so we're not going to be doing that. And we'll select web, and then we can go ahead and click create, and it's going to ask us to check that little data processing box at the bottom, and then we'll go ahead and click yes, and we'll be taken to a page that looks like this, where we'll be given our Google Tag Manager code. Now, if for any reason you accidentally click out of this and you're looking at your dashboard, you can always click on your Tag Manager ID and be taken back to this pop-up. So if you ever lose track, you can just click on that strange looking string of text and you'll be taken back here. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to need to place this code on our site. And so this is the code that we're going to put on our site that's going to replace all the other tracking code. So what's really cool is once we put this in the head tag and the body tag, I'll show you how to do that in a second, we're never going to have to crack open the code of our website again. That's what makes Tag Manager so great. And to ensure we never have to break open the code of our site again, we need to make sure this code goes on every page of our site. Now, the good news is most page builders, especially with WordPress or the page builders like Leadpages, Builderall, ClickFunnels, they give you a place inside of your settings to place these two codes. So you're not going to have to do any crazy HTML stuff unless you've done a custom site. And so whatever page builder you're using, you're going to want to look for something akin to theme options or page settings or analytics, scripts, and tracking. So I'm going to go through 4 examples here, 2 in WordPress, and then I'll show you where to find it inside of Shopify. So looking for analytics, tracking, or scripts, our first example here is the Thrive Themes plugin for WordPress. So I've gone to the Thrive dashboard and I've clicked on theme options down there on the bottom left, and then I've gone up to analytics and scripts, and you can see that there's a header script and an opening body script, and this is where we're going to copy and paste that code. So you see there's code number 1 for the header and then code number 2 for the body, and all we have to do is copy and paste it in here. Now, if you've previously added tracking codes to your site before, there might be text already inside there. So what you're going to want to do is go ahead and scroll to the bottom and then click enter a couple times and then paste in your Tag Manager code. Because once Tag Manager is installed on your site and you're ready to go, you're going to delete all those other codes because you're going to take those codes and put it into Tag Manager. I know that can sound a little confusing, but don't worry, we're going to go step by step here. So that's number 1. So example number 2 is the Thrive plugin. So I'm in the Thrive dashboard and I've gone to just my dashboard settings and I've scrolled down to a selection for landing pages, analytics, scripts, and tracking. I'm just going through these examples so you kind of get a sense of where to look for your settings in your own software. And once I click on this, I'll be taken to a place where I can add a new script. So you can see here there's a drop-down menu, before head and after head. So red is the header text. I'd go ahead and paste it in here and I'd say before header, and then I'd go ahead and do this process over again, and I'd click after body for the green text of the tracking code that goes in the body. Now, hopefully this is giving you some insight into where to look in your own software. Second to last example here, inside of OptimizePress, I've just gone to the dashboard and you can see they have an analytics and tracking section and 2 spaces for the code to just be copied and pasted in there. So hopefully one of these 3 examples is close to the type of software or plugin or theme that you're using. And finally, with Shopify, you're going to need to use Plus, otherwise they're not going to really allow you to use Google Tag Manager, and you're going to go to Online Store Preferences. You're going to see a place to add Google Analytics and then other tracking scripts below that. So this is the page you'll look for if you're doing this with Shopify. And once you've pasted that code into your site and you've clicked save, it's time to make sure that it actually was added correctly. And for this, Google has a free tool for us called Google Tag Assistant. It's a free Chrome plugin. So what we'll do is we'll just go to Google and search Chrome Tag Store Assistant or Google Tag Assistant, and we'll be taken, just go ahead and click on the first option for the web Chrome store, and we're going to be able to install this free plugin. And what's really cool is this actually works on any site. So if you want to check out your competitors and what they're using and what tags they have on their site, it'll actually work on their site as well. So once we click add to Chrome, we're going to go ahead and click done. Just leave everything checked. You can always remove settings later, but more is better here. It's just more free data. And then we'll go ahead and go over to our site and click on it. And you'll notice that it's going to say it's currently not enabled. So we're going to need to click enable. And then once we refresh the page, we'll be able to see our Tag Manager code along with all the other tags we're going to be adding in the future. So in this particular example, you can see here we have Tag Manager and we have an AdWords remarketing tag on the site. Since you just installed Tag Manager, all you should see is Google Tag Manager unless you already have other tags that are lingering around someplace. Now you'll notice there's some yellow arrows at the bottom. We're going to ignore that for this tutorial because I'm purposely blocking myself on a site that we actually own, but we'll go through what red and green means. So obviously red is bad and green is good. Now, if you see anything with red, that doesn't necessarily mean the tag isn't working. I know this can really trip a lot of people up. So what you want to do is click on the tag that's showing red and then look at the errors. And most of the time, the errors aren't going to make any sense. In this particular instance, you see it's error blocked by client. That's because I'm using a plugin to block myself so I don't cookie and pixel myself in our own marketing or marketing for our clients. However, if there's something else here, you can go ahead and type that into Google, and you're going to be able to go through Google Forms and find out what the problem is relatively quickly. A lot of the errors have a code, so it's very easy to figure out what the issue actually is. For our example here, Google Tag Manager is green, so that means we are good to go. Google Tag Manager is on our site correctly, and we're now ready to move on to adding other tags inside of Tag Manager to really take advantage of all of the tag benefits Tag Manager offers us. Now, the very first tag I recommend setting up using Google Tag Manager is Google Analytics. I believe it's the single most important tracking code to have on your site, and all you need is your proper ID. We're not going to have to copy and paste any code here because Google talks to other Google products. So we'll go to our Google Analytics account. I'm going to assume you already have it set up. If you don't, it's relatively easy. Just search Google Analytics, and within 3 minutes, you'll be up and running, ready to go. So wherever you are in Google Analytics, you can always come to the bottom left here and click on Admin. So we're going to click on Admin or the little gear icon if you're already in your admin settings. Once you're at a page that looks something like this, we're going to make sure that we're looking at the right property or website that we're going to be adding Google Analytics to, and we're going to click on Property Settings. And inside of Property Settings, we're going to be able to copy our tracking ID. It's this little number at the top. That's all we need from Google Analytics. We can go over to Google Tag Manager now and get started creating our tag for Google Analytics. So we'll go ahead and click on New Tag here. And we're going to name our new tag. I recommend naming it GA-base tag, but you can use whatever naming convention you'd like. Just make sure it's descriptive, because as time goes on, you're going to wind up putting a lot of tags in here. And so you want to make it really clear to yourself or someone else who's helping you what each one of these tags are. Once we've named our tag, we're going to go ahead and click Tag Configuration, and we're going to be given all of these tag implementation options. We're going to go ahead and click on Google Analytics Universal. If for some strange reason you see Classic anywhere, don't use Classic. We're going to use Google Analytics Universal because Classic is completely outdated now. So we'll do Universal, and we're going to go ahead and click Enable Overriding Settings in this tag. This essentially is telling Tag Manager we want everything. When you get into Advanced Google Analytics and Advanced Google Tag Manager, you can unclick this and start getting fancy with individualized settings. For basic setup, just click Override and keep going. The next thing we're going to want to do is put in our tracking ID. And this is going to be the UA code we copied from our property settings inside of Google Tag Manager. So we'll just go ahead and paste it in there. And that's all there is to it, to getting ready with the tag itself. Now we have to tell Google Tag Manager when we want the tag to fire. And so we'll go ahead and click on triggering, and we'll select all pages. Since we just set up this particular account, all pages is the only option. If you ever want to make a trigger, in the top right-hand corner, you can click plus and create a new trigger. We'll go through that in a different part of this course. So once we've selected all pages, we are good to go with this tag. So we see we've chosen Google Analytics Universal as our tag type. We've enabled overriding settings because we're going to be simple here. We've copied and pasted our UA property code that we found inside of our property settings inside of Google Tag Manager, and we've set our trigger to all pages because we want Google Analytics to track every page on our site, and we'll go ahead and click Save. And now that we've clicked Save, we need to preview our changes to make sure that we did everything correctly and that there isn't anything getting in the way of Google Analytics firing correctly. So once we click this little preview button, we'll get this orange notification letting us know that we're now in preview mode. And this is something I recommend doing for every single tag or every single change that you do, so you can ensure that things are working properly. You do need to do this in a Chrome web browser. So in Chrome, we're going to go over to our website and we're going to refresh the page. Since we're doing Google Analytics, it could be any page on our site because Google Analytics is supposed to fire on any page on our site. So here we're just on a membership homepage, and you'll see that this little box is going to pop up at the bottom. Again, we need to be in Google Chrome, and the Tag Manager preview is going to show us everything that's firing on our site. And as you can see here, the GA base tag, what we named it, is firing. This is the Google Analytics tag. This is what we want to see. It succeeded. We are good to go. We're ready to publish the changes live. What's very important to note is this is still in preview mode, right? So if someone goes to your site right now, Google Analytics technically isn't on your site yet. You're just previewing it. So we need to go back to Tag Manager, and we're going to leave preview mode, and then we're going to go ahead and submit the changes to make them actually live on your site. So it'll pop up here. You're going to go ahead and name your update. Typically, I just name it the same as the tag or trigger that I just put together. And then I put in the information of the tag or trigger or little information about it. That way, if I ever have someone else coming in later on, or you come back later and you're trying to figure out where was a mistake made, this is a very nice, it just takes an extra 30 seconds and it makes sure that you have good documentation for all of the changes that are being made. And once you have that there, you can go ahead and click publish, and you're good to go. It'll give you this nice little report of everything that was changed. And so what we want to do now is head back over to our site, refresh the page, and this time use Tag Assistant. So the first time we previewed it using the Google Tag Manager preview function. Tag Assistant is telling us the results that are live, right? So you can see here, we have our UA code. It's blue. That means it's good to go. It's firing correctly. The installation of our Google Analytics tag via Google Tag Manager is complete. Now, when it comes to installing the Facebook pixel, I recommend that you put it on your site, even if you're not doing any Facebook advertising right now. And there's two reasons for this. Reason number one is it's going to make remarketing a whole lot easier in the future if you ever decide to use Facebook. And number two, Facebook is trying to compete with Google Analytics, and they provide some pretty good data and insights into your website traffic. So even if you're not going to be advertising and you've just sworn off Facebook forever, well, their audience insights tools can be very helpful. So I recommend installing the Pixel anyway. Now, the good news is installing the Facebook Pixel via Google Tag Manager is extremely simple because it integrates directly with Google Tag Manager. It's actually kind of strange how it's easier to install the Facebook pixel than it is to install a Google tag or a Google Analytics tag. But more on that in a bit here. So we're going to go ahead and head over to Facebook. We're going to click on, from our feed page, we're going to click on our menu, and we're going to either click Create Ads or Manage Ads. So if you don't already have a Facebook ads account set up, you'll go ahead and click Create Ads. You'll be able to set up an account. They just want a credit card and some basic information, and you'll be good to go. Otherwise, you can go ahead and click on Manage Ads and then select the account that you're going to be doing this for. So once you're in your Ads Manager, we've clicked up here in the top left, and we've clicked on Ads Manager, and then we've clicked All Tools, and we're looking at everything we have access to inside of our ads or business manager. So we're going to go ahead and click on pixels. So if you haven't set one up yet, this page is going to show you an option to create a pixel for the first time. If you've already set one up, then you can go ahead and click on the pixel ID or details to get to the pop-up that we need. So if you're doing this for the first time, this page isn't going to apply to you. But if you've already set it up, we're going to go ahead and click on setup in the top right. And once we do, a pop-up will appear, and this is the pop-up that will appear if you're doing this for the first time. Of course, we're going to choose integration or tag manager, and in the list of everything that we could integrate with, we're going to go ahead and click on Google Tag Manager. Now here, this is just kind of telling you an overview of what's going to happen, and Facebook Automatic Events is actually so good that we've found that a lot of people actually don't have to do any advanced conversion tracking because Automatic Events do such a good job of figuring out what's actually going on your site. So if you're doing conversion tracking, installing the pixel via Google Tag Manager is probably all the work you're going to need unless you're doing some advanced funnel stuff or you're doing some advanced e-commerce tracking. So here it's going to pop up a screen here and ask you to sign in with your account. So obviously we need to sign in with the same Google account that we used to create our Tag Manager account. Otherwise, we're not going to see the proper containers and accounts. So once we click the one we want, we're going to go ahead and click Allow. So you're going to have to click Allow. This is the first time you're doing this. And once we do, we're going to be able to see the accounts and containers that we have access to. In this particular instance, MyAwesomeCompany and SuperCoolCompany.com are the only account/container that we have in this particular Google account. If you have more than one, you're going to have a drop-down menu that looks like this. You'll just select the account and container and then move on. And since this is the only account we have, we're going to go ahead and click Finish and Setup. So now actually Facebook has put the Facebook pixel inside of your tag manager already. All the hard work has been completed. We just want to make sure it's been installed correctly via the pixel helper. So similar to how Google Tag Assistant helps us with making sure Google Tag Manager was installed correctly the first time, and it helps us with all of our Google tags from Google Ads and Google Analytics, the pixel helper does the same thing for the Facebook pixel. So we'll go ahead and click Download Pixel Helper. It'll take us to this page. We'll click Download Now, add to Chrome, and once we've added the extension, we'll go over to Tag Manager, we'll click on Tags, and we'll just verify that the Facebook pixel is actually there, and we'll just be a little OCD, just making sure that everything is working correctly, because there are no redos. We'll go back to the home page, and we'll go ahead and click on Preview, just to make sure everything is ship shape. So we'll click Preview, we'll be notified that we're in preview mode, and then we'll go over to our site, refresh the page, and now we can see the Facebook pixel has fired, and we can use the Facebook pixel plugin that we just installed to see the page view data that the Facebook pixel has collected, along with the automatic microdata. And with the automatic microdata, if you have a bunch of upsell pages or downsell pages, you want to see how Facebook is tracking what's going on inside of your shopping cart or your checkout process, I recommend going through a mock checkout to see how Facebook is collecting that data to make sure that you're getting the right conversion events. But that's a little outside the scope of just getting set up with the Facebook pixel and Google Tag Manager. So we'll go back to Google Tag Manager and we'll just leave preview mode. And of course, we don't need to submit changes because Facebook has already done that for us. And with that, the Facebook pixel is on your site via Google Tag Manager and the setup is complete. Now, when it comes to installing the Google Ads remarketing tag, it's going to apply to all of the Google Ads products, so previously known as Google AdWords. So your search ads, your display ads, your Gmail ads, and your YouTube ads all work off of the Google remarketing tag that we're about to install via Google Tag Manager. And before we jump into our Google Tag Manager account, we need to go over to our Google Ads account to get our tag ID and conversion ID. So for that, whether you're at your dashboard or you're looking at all your campaigns, you're going to click on Tools. And inside of Tools, you're going to click on Audience Manager. Now, if you're setting up your tag for the first time, you're going to see a little box here that's going to allow you to set up your tag. If you already have set up your tag or you have some audience sources already, we're going to go ahead and click on Audience Sources on the left-hand side. Once we've clicked on that, we're going to go ahead and click on the Google tag, and we're going to select the three little dots and Edit Source. Once we get to Edit Source, we're going to get to the same information that we would be looking at if we had just clicked to create the tag for the first time. We're going to collect all data from all sources because this is the remarketing tag. And then for general parameters, go ahead and check user ID. If you're in the UK and you're dealing with that GDPR stuff, you may want to look up whether or not you want to bother checking that little box. And we'll go ahead and click Save and Continue. And once we get to this page, because we're doing Google Tag Manager, we can ignore all of these site tags and event snippets and scroll down to Use Google Tag Manager, and a little pop-up will come up giving us our conversion ID. And so all we need to do is copy this guy and we'll be good to go. So we'll copy our conversion ID and we'll go ahead and click Done. And we'll click Done one more time and we'll be taken back to this page. And at this point, we are done with Google Ads. We can go over to Tag Manager and create our new tag. So we'll go ahead and click Create New Tag and we'll come up here and name it. I still use AW for AdWords because Google Ads GA is the same as Google Analytics and it just messes up our entire naming convention. Or you can do GAT, which stands for Google Ads Tag Remarketing. You're welcome, more than welcome to come up with your own names. That's just how we use it. And we're still using AW just because GA is not a good abbreviation since Google Analytics is the same abbreviation, and we already did that for all of our clients. Anyway, once you've figured out whatever you're going to name it, let's go ahead and click on Tag Configuration and select Google Ads Remarketing. So once we've selected Google Ads Remarketing, we'll just go ahead and paste our conversion ID into this little box, and we're not going to do any custom parameters. You can always come back and get fancy. Next, for the triggering, we're just going to go ahead and select all pages because this is a remarketing tag. So we want this to fire across every single page on our site. We can create our custom audiences or custom remarketing lists inside of Google Ads. We don't need to define that here inside of Tag Manager. Tag Manager, we're collecting all the data inside of our Google Ads account. That's when we'll start getting granular with the different individual pages that we want to retarget people based upon their visits. So here we have our tag type, our conversion ID, and then of course our trigger, which is all pages. We are good to go. We're going to go ahead and click Save and Finish. So once we've done that, we want to preview all of our changes. So we'll go ahead and click on Preview before we go live. Once the preview notification goes up, we'll go to our site inside of Google Chrome, because of course this is only going to work if you're inside of Google Chrome, and we'll refresh the page. Since this is a remarketing tag that's going on all of our pages, we don't need to go to a specific page on our site. So any page will do. We'll do our membership homepage here. And once we do, this little preview is going to show up in the bottom. And here we can see the Google AdWords remarketing tag has fired once, which is what we want to see. We can see the Facebook pixel and the Google Analytics tag has also fired, two things that are firing across every page on this site as well. And now that we've verified it's working correctly, we're good to go publishing the changes. So we'll come over here. We're going to go ahead and leave preview mode and we'll click OK. And then we'll click Submit to make the changes live. So we'll go ahead and give our update a name. I like naming it whatever tag or trigger I just installed. And then the version description is to just give the information of what was changed. And if there's an individual, tracking ID or trigger URL, I'd go ahead and paste that in here just so it's really easy to document and you don't ever have to remember what you changed with a version just in case something goes wrong in the future. So we'll go ahead and publish that. We'll get our little summary here of everything that was done. done. And as a final check, just because we want to be OCD, we're going to go back to our site, refresh the page. That bottom preview section for Google Tag Manager is going to disappear, and we'll click on Tag Assistant to make sure that we can see the AdWords remarketing tag is fired correctly. And you'll also notice the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I just kind of made it up for this particular course. Those numbers should always correlate to the numbers that you plugged in into Google Tag Manager. You do want to make sure that those numbers are the same, just in case there's another piece of code on your site for some reason. And with that, your setup and installation of the Google Ads remarketing tag via Google Tag Manager is complete. Now, when it comes to conversion tracking, this is where Tag Manager really shines, because Tag Manager allows you to set up your triggers and events one time and then have them fire for every single traffic source. It's really a fantastic tool for streamlining your conversion tracking process. And so there are only two things we need when we're doing our conversion tracking. We're going to need our success or confirmation URL and our conversion code from whatever advertising platform we are using. In this particular example, we're going to be using Google Ads as an example, but this will work with pretty much any platform that you're looking at. So our steps here, we're going to create the trigger, then we're going to create the conversion code, and then we're going to add the conversion tag to Google Tag Manager. So the first step is we're going to create a custom trigger inside of Google Tag Manager. And now we'll head over to Google Tag Manager and we're going to click on triggers to create our new trigger to track our conversion events. So once we're in triggers, we're going to go ahead and click new. And here we're going to define what the trigger is. Now, a trigger is something where you're setting up an event. Think of it as an event or a goal that you want to track on your site. So this can be a lead, a sign up, or a sale. Those are kind of the two big things, and we're going to name it based upon that. Here we're tracking a lead. So it's going to be the code of whatever the offer is, and then dash lead. You can use whatever naming convention you want. You can always change your names later. So we're going to click on trigger configuration, and this is where we're going to tell Google Tag Manager what conditions need to be met in order for someone to be counted as a lead or a sale or a sign up. Here we're going to click page view. All of these other things can be used. It just requires a lot more HTML knowledge and starting to mess with the data layer of your site. So we're going to keep it simple, use page views, and we're going to click on some page views because we don't want this to happen for all pages on our site. We want to just track when someone hits a particular page. So we're going to click on some page views here, and then we're going to set the conditions of what the page would be. So I apologize, this is got really blurry for some reason here. So we're going to click on page URL in the first box, and then we're going to click on equals in the second one. Again, I apologize, I went ahead and put what you're going to look for here. It could either be starts with, ends with, or contains. Then we're going to go ahead and put in the success or confirmation URL of whatever the action is. So if someone's going through a checkout process, then this will be the confirmation page or the invoice page when they're done with the shopping cart or upsell downsell sequence. If someone's just opting into a landing page or squeeze page, then this is going to be the thank you page or success or confirmation page that happens right after that action. There are other ways to track these. This is just the simplest, kind of most foolproof way of doing it. So here I've just typed in supercoolcompany.com/confirm, right? So this is the page that's going to show up right after someone signs up for the free offer that we have. And once we've entered in that URL, we're going to go ahead and click save. So we've saved it. The trigger creation is complete. Step one is done. And what's cool is this trigger that we just created can be used for any tag, any conversion pixel on our site. So it's going to be really cool how you see how this works in a second here. You can see here's the first change. We can see that the trigger has been created. And now it's time to create our conversion code. For this particular example, I'm going to be going through Google Ads. It should be similar for your other advertising platforms. So we're going to head over to Google Ads and click on Tools. Under Tools, we're going to click on Conversions, and inside of our conversions, we're going to click the big blue plus button. You can see here there are a couple conversions already set up for this particular account. And in our conversions, we're going to click on Website, and then we're going to go through and set up what this conversion means to us. So first, we're going to give the conversion a name. I recommend naming it something similar to what you name the trigger in Tag Manager, so you know all these conversion tags and triggers are around the same event. So we're just going to actually name it approximately the same thing. And then we're going to tell Google what type of conversion this is. Is it a purchase, a sale, a lead, a sign up, view of a key page, or other? Typically, I only use the first three. We're tracking a lead here, so we're going to select lead. And then we have the option of telling Google what the value is. Now, when it comes to different values for each conversion, that's advanced. We're not going to touch that in this particular tutorial. If you have one product at one price, then you can go ahead and enter in that price. It's great if you're looking to figure out what your kind of cost per leads are, cost per acquisition, and doing return on ad spend type things. For this particular instance, we're just doing a sign up. Someone's just entering their name and email to get access to something cool. So we're going to go ahead and select don't use a value. Next, we have count. If you're going to count every or just one, it's recommended if you're doing this for a lead or a sign up, go ahead and click 1. We only want to count a conversion as someone who gives us their contact information one time. If it's a sale, well, go ahead and count every single one. And finally, there's some other settings here in the bottom that you can play with based upon what your conversion tracking is and the type of campaigns you're running. And on the next page, we're going to go ahead and select Use Google Tag Manager because that's what we're doing. We're using Google Tag Manager. And here we're going to copy the conversion ID and the conversion label. And of course, you can click the tabs at the top if you're going to be sending this off to someone or you just want to see what the code looks like. And this is all we need from Google Ads in order to set up our conversion tracking inside of Tag Manager. So we'll just go ahead and click Next to finish up. We're going to click Done because we've already copied what we needed. And now we can see that our new conversion action is showing up in our list of conversions. Of course, it's unverified and there's none because we just made it. So now we get to go to step number 3, which is setting up the conversion tag. So we're bringing it all together in this. So we're going to go back over to Google Tag Manager. We're going to click on Create New Tag, and then we're going to give our tag a name, and this should identify the source and the action. So in this particular instance, I'm going to name this AW conversion for AdWords or Google Ads conversion. And then what is the conversion? It's a lead for the Aspire notebook. So we'll go ahead and select our tag configuration. Because this is a Google product, we can go ahead and click Google Ads conversion tracking. If you have a code from another ads platform, you can go ahead and go to the custom section down here and click on custom HTML. You can go ahead and paste in the conversion code snippet that you got from your ads platform. So here we're going to copy and paste our conversion ID and conversion label into Google Ads. So you can see here, I saved it in a notepad. So we just copy and paste into those two and we're good to go. And now we want to select our triggering. So this is where that trigger comes in that we already created earlier. We're going to go ahead and click on the ANB-lead trigger. So it's telling Google Tag Manager that we only want to fire this particular code from Google Ads when someone sees the confirmation page. So this is the summary of what we have. We're going to go ahead and click Save. And now it's time to preview our install. We can see here we have 2 workspace changes. So we'll go ahead and click Preview. Once we get the preview notification, we'll go over to our website and refresh the page. Now here, it's very important that we refresh the page on the confirmation page. We want to be looking at the page where the tag is supposed to fire. So we'll refresh the page and we'll see our preview down here, and we can see AW-conversion _ AMB-lead, blah, 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 blah. Google Ads conversion tracking fired 1 time. Perfect. This is the confirmation page. We want the tag to be firing here. And now that we've confirmed that it's firing in the correct place, we can go back to Tag Manager, leave preview mode, and submit our changes. So here I'm going to go ahead and give it a name that's descriptive of everything that was done, as well as the conversion ID, the conversion label, and the actual URL of the trigger that was set up. So that way it's very easy to see in one place everything that was done. And this is especially helpful because as you keep doing this over and over again, it's very easy to find mistakes or wind up needing to change the way a particular tag or trigger has been set up. And so this is just a great way to make sure that you have a good track record and you can easily fix issues that come up in the future. We'll go ahead and click Publish. We'll get our summary of results. And as usual, we're going to need to go back to our site one more time to make sure that the tag is showing up correctly via the tag assistant. So we're going to refresh the page. That bottom section is going to disappear. And now we're going to click on our tag assistant. We're going to be able to see the Google Ads conversion code has fired correctly on this confirmation page. And with that, your installation of the Google Ads conversion tracking tag and the process for creating your conversion tags is complete. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video informative and actionable. If you're still watching, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, because over on my channel, I'm documenting the entire process of what it takes to be successful with your digital marketing, and of course, getting Tag Manager set up and your analytics and your tracking codes properly installed is just the foundation first step to being successful with your digital business and marketing and sales funnels efforts. So go ahead and comment below if you have any questions, and until the next video, keep building the business you love.